Hey folks, how's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Hope you had a decent break. Let's see, where's my page? There you go. Nope, I lost it. Wow, go to the other tab. Friends, other screen. Okay. It's gonna be one of those days, I guess. That's fun. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get this one here. Will this one load? Yeah, alright. Yeah, I can't get the Stream Manager to load. There it goes. Alright. So hopefully you had a good break. I ended up getting my COVID shot on Monday, and it knocked me out Monday night, all of Tuesday, and most of Wednesday. So I did not get very much done over break. I apologize. Things are definitely behind, so I still need to grade your projects. This project 3, I had messed up, and I thought I put the due date as 3/11, and it should not have been 3/11. It should have been 3/18, because I updated. We're not going to start project 4 till now, so it should have been due when we're going to start project 4. So if you did work on that over break and it ruined your break, let me know. I'll throw some bonus points at you, because that was my mistake. But hopefully I got that notice out. There were only a couple submitted. By the time I realized what had happened, when someone was like, "Oh crap, we had something due over, right after break," so that was wrong. So we're going to finish up the PHP section today. Talk about secure websites, basic authentication, and email. The emailing stuff works, but I'm not actually going to ask you to send anything over email. We're just going to assume that it does work. So we're going to talk about how to do it. But in order for it to work, you can set up a Gmail account. Usually I would set up like a dummy Gmail account. Yeah, you got it. Let's try the chest bra one today. Thanks so much, Snake. We'll rep their hat here. I've not got their mug in the mail, but apparently it's getting shipped. It just takes a while to ship stuff from Canada. So I'm using the Disney mug today, which I hear they're slowly starting to reopen now. I'm pretty excited. I've got plans tentatively next winter break to go with the family. So hopefully we can make it then. We'll see. I love taking my kids there. It is one of the happiest places on earth. But I don't make any money if you guys go. So I'm just saying how much I like it. That's just me. Yeah. I've got the hoodie too. The hoodie is one of the best things that they sell. That thing is super soft, even after 2 years or whatever of me wearing it. 3 years now? I forget how long. It's a fantastic hoodie. So I did take it. I like to run the International Marathon, the Free Press one. It starts in Detroit. You run over the Ambassador Bridge through downtown Canada. You come back through the tunnel. It's super cool. So I wore the hoodie there to take it back into Canada. Just to rep their merch a little bit, but by the time I got into Canada, it was actually too hot and it was tied around my waist. But starting at 7 in the morning, it's a little bit chilly in October. No, Lazy, you didn't miss much at all. I'm talking about other people's merch. Kind of got off track here. Yes, we're going to finish up PHP, secure websites. Again, we're going to talk about what it is, and we're just going to use the default local certs, which we would not use in production, but depending on where you end up or where you deploy this thing, you're going to have a different process for getting those certs. So there's not really one good way to show you, and usually they charge for them. So we're not going to do any of that. But we'll talk about how certs work, how we use that. We'll do some, hey, we want to redirect to secure pages all the time, which is a good habit. And then basic authentication. So once we're on a secure website, we can do authentication. without too much trouble. There's all sorts of gotchas here. We do need to be careful. Just as a security-minded person, you need to be careful when storing sensitive information. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then just the email, there's a little plugin you can download, and you throw it in there, and then you just call send email, and it's super easy. So we're going to talk about how to do it. If you want to play with it, great. I would recommend you set up a dummy Gmail account, because that's probably the easiest way to go about it, because you have to send your password through. And I would not recommend you use your actual Gmail account password. We would just send a dummy one, and we could go from there. And then we'll start talking about Java, MVC, and Tomcat. We'll look at how we can get our Tomcat server set up here. XAMPP hates me for whatever reason, and I still have not figured out why it won't start, but I'll show you how to get it started outside of that, and then XAMPP is happy for reasons. And then we'll actually look at doing some servlets next week. So this is just trying to get Tomcat up and running. Initially talking about doing all this sort of stuff in Java and this MVC model that we started in PHP. Oh my goodness, my phone is not quiet. Sorry about that. Let's see there. Let's see. There. Maybe now that'll make it quiet. Okay. Yep, good. Okay, so, hopefully you saw the note. Project 3 got pushed back a little bit further. It's not going to be due till next week when we pick up our last individual project here. This will be just some basic Java servlet ones. More than a hello world, but nothing super crazy. And then we'll get to the final project coming up in April. We'll have all of April to do the final project. Yeah, SQL query calculation, sure. Yeah, we could do some calculations in SQL if you wanted, or you could just do them, get the data and sum it yourself in code. Either way is okay. So I was expecting if you weren't very familiar with SQL, you would do it in code. If you were more familiar with SQL, you could do it in SQL. It's perfectly fine. Both approaches will work. So let's take a look. Let's open that up here. We'll open up our database project. That's the wrong folder. Nope. I want my computer, because we never did this the smart way. Docs, database program. There we go. Yeah, no problem, Yogi. Of course. I'm really missing being in person with you folks, because this is so much harder. All these little finicky web server things. Finicky is a technical term, by the way. That it's just easier if we're in the lab with everything pre-installed, ready to go, or then I can actually see your laptop and get things up and running, and we can work through those queries and stuff and things. So the summer registration is up. Summer will be much like this winter, mostly remote, or almost all remote if possible, and then hopefully we're looking at fall if we're going back to somewhat normal. I think that's the goal. All right. So we were looking at, we had a users view, right? That just said a balance, right? There wasn't a lot of information here. So if we wanted to do something more interesting with users, right? Is that the SQL query calculation you were talking about, Yogi? Like we could get their current value of stock? I mean, I'm hoping by fall we can do some in-person classes. I guess that's all dependent on how well the vaccine rollout goes. The last I looked, we were at about 10% of people in Michigan have been, or was it 10% of adults or population? I forget what the number was, had gotten the full vaccine, and about 20% had gotten at least one shot. So they're working and rolling it out. I think just this week they're starting to schedule for older adults. Still haven't gotten through all the high priority people, which boggles my mind that they're scheduling things the way they are, but okay, sure. Awesome. Yeah, glad to hear it, Ray. Yeah, they're working on the rollout, so I know all sorts of technical trouble, and yeah, I got my first poke the first day of break, Snake, and it made me miserable Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which is, okay, I'll take it. I did get COVID previously in November when I was out in Philadelphia for my daughter's surgery, which sucked. And that was awful. Thankfully, we got through it, but I had trouble breathing for like 5 weeks. But no, apparently if you've had it and then you get the first shot, you're like super immune. Apparently, I don't know, there's all sorts of data coming out and it's hard to follow, and I'm not a medical person. but it's interesting to follow. So I'm supposed to get my second shot on the 29th of March. And I'm hoping that one doesn't make me miserable. So we'll see. Oh, I didn't close my office door. Give me just a second, folks. Sorry. Here, have a chair screen. I did not have one of those cool gamer chairs. I hear they're just a big waste of money. They're like overly expensive. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Johnson & Johnson shot. So I ended up with the Moderna one. So that's the 2-dose one I'll be getting. All right. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's see what we could do then with some queries to get some more of this data back. So I've got my Apache and SQL started, my SQL started, and I actually want to go look at, and let's see if we could write the query first, because sometimes that makes life a little easier if we can do the query here in PHP admin and then translate it, because we need to substitute a couple values. Of course, what, is it not working now? Oh dear. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Can I get anything loaded? Okay, I did get my dashboard. Database project. Yeah, you're welcome to just copy over from project 2 or use what I had from project 2. Of course, it's not called database program. Isn't it called database program? I don't think I'm running anything with debug. I just hit regular go. Who knows? I probably screwed something up. Okay, I got that. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So where's my PHP my admin? Okay, it's just going slow. It's just slow for whatever reason. All right, so we got our test database that we've been playing with. Oh, I'm in love with these vertical tabs, by the way. Most of what we do now, like we've got a wide enough screen, and I can actually see, the 50 tabs I usually have open. I clean it up when I'm showing for you guys, but usually I've got tabs, down crazy levels. So anyway, so we're going to write some SQL. Right, so the idea we want to do select star from user. Oh my goodness. That is tiny font. I'll see if I can zoom that a little bit here. Oh, no database. What? Come on. Picked the wrong thing. Yeah, and if you've got the widescreen monitor, it's super nice. So if you don't have the widescreen monitor, sure. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but on my Surface Book here, it's wide enough that I can leave this pinned and I can see all my tabs instead of, all I get is the icons at the top. So it took a little while getting used to. And some things it's not great, like the Outlook webmail. I've got tab list, and then I have apps list, so I can switch between all the apps, and then I have emails, and then I only get like half the screen for viewing emails, but it's still not too bad. So that's been fun to use in Edgium, I think is what we're calling this now. Here we go. Okay, so select star from user. Gets me all the users. Okay, so we're good so far. We're going to edit. So then what I would want to do is would want to join on stock order. Right, so we're going to connect users to stock orders. So I can say inner join stock order on stock order.user ID is user.id. Okay, and then I also need the stock information. So inner join stock on stock.id equals stock order.stockid. And I'm using tab for autocomplete there. Sorry if that wasn't clear. Let me zoom that in a little bit here, see if I can run that. So this will give me all of the users and all of the stocks that they have purchased. So the interesting thing here, though, is that, let me go buy some more stock real quick. So let's say we want to go buy and sell stock, and I want to buy some GME because it is going nuts today. I don't know why, or not even today, like this week it's been going crazy. Apparently they've got the guy from Chewy who's on their board is going to be doing something in their web revisioning committee, or I forget. I don't know. And people just like it. Right? As Roaring Kitty says, I like the stock. This is like the perfect time to talk about web applications when stocks are super hot and crazy. This worked out well. We can get in on the meme. Look at that, 256. That's crazy. Up to 270. All right. Some of us are feeling bad when we sold at a loss. No, like the dog toy company, Chewy.com or something. Like he was their founder there. Whichever one you want to use, Snake. So if you want to copy off of your project 2 and keep going, great. If you want to copy off of mine and keep going, great. Either one's okay. Whatever you'd prefer to work with. All right. Anyway, so I need to go buy some stock here. So I already own GME. So let's buy something else. Maybe some AMC, and let's buy 10 of them here for Eric. Okay. So now Eric owns some AMC stock. Sure. And let's throw in what else do we have here? How about some Disney stock? We'll buy some Disney, 5 of them for Smart Person. And again, I haven't cleaned this up to do all the drop downs and things like that, so. Well, so, Scary Larry, are you talking about Project 3? Oh, I've got different ones on GitHub? Yeah, so I did push out the due date for Project 3. That was my mistake. It shouldn't have been due today. It should be due next week. So I updated that in D2L and sent an email to everybody. So you're welcome to resubmit up until next week, 1 p.m. We should have had 2 weeks, not including the break, to work on it. So that was my mistake, putting the due date there in D2L. All right, anyway, so I wanted to show you now. If I come back to my PHP admin, we run the query again. We say go. Now we're going to get multiple rows here. So I think this is what you're talking about, Yogi, saying, hey, how can we do some of this arithmetic in here? No, it was my mistake, Scary, but it was supposed to be 2 weeks without the break. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I sent the email yesterday, like afternoon, after someone was telling me, oh crap, you know, why did we have to do something over break? Yep. Okay, so this works here, but now I can't get I get myself and my balance more than once, right? And I can see my purchase price of a stock, and I can see the current price of a stock over here, right? So what I need to do is I need to aggregate this information, right? I want to sum up all of my quantity times the current price is the current value, and my purchase price times the quantity is what I paid for it, right? So we were trying to get in here. Let me find that. Oh, and someone else had asked if you tanked one of these projects that I've not graded yet, because I'm sorry, I was sick for half a break, if that makes you feel any better. When we get to the final project, I will take your final project score and just replace your worst project score with that final project score. So if you just bombed one of them totally and you did perfect on the final project, which is the goal that everyone gets the final project perfect, you can get that score to replace your lowest project score, if that makes sense. So like if you tanked one of them, then if you did great on the final project, that'll kind of balance that out a little bit here. All right, I want to edit. Let's see. Right, current stock value, cost to purchase stocks, and the net gain or loss. So the cost of our purchase stocks, right, is going to be, where'd it go? Here it is. My purchase price times the quantity, aggregated or summed, right? That's my cost. My value, current value, is the quantity times the current price here. And then the difference, right, is what I can calculate. So we're going to see, can we do that sort of thing in SQL? And yeah, we can actually here. And someone else had mentioned, if you have a user who doesn't buy any stock, right, if we just make a new user and they haven't bought anything here, so let's go to users. Because we don't have a way to manage users yet. I didn't do anything there. Excuse me. Let's see if we can. I want to insert. Where's my insert button? Insert. There we go. So many buttons. So the user ID will get populated. Name here is another user. Sure. And our balance, we'll just put 1,000. Sure. Give them $1,000. Why not? And we'll say go. Okay. Now if I go back to that query, oh, I probably lost the query, didn't I? That's all right. I can rewrite it here. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, goodness. Edit my query. There we go. So if I select start from user and I inner join stock order on stock order.user, stock order.user is the user.id, inner join stock on stock.id is stock order.stock.id. When I run this, we're not going to see the new user because the inner join says only show me when stuff matches. So what we could do instead here, and again, this is a little fancier SQL stuff. Let me take a look. Let's look at that GitHub here. Nope, that's the wrong tab over here. 2454. Let's see, what is... Well, this one's much older, PHP Project 2. Let's see, what does it even have in here? Does it even have anything? Oh, yeah, this was the example stuff from the we were looking at it. So we've been working on database program, all the things. Right, this is the database program. This is the one we've been working on that you can model off of. Yep. All right, so when I do the inner join, right, it's not going to show me that user. So what I can do is I can do this thing called a outer join. So I'm going to do a left outer join here. What that means is if I don't have a match, I'm going to get everything from user. Oh, I've got to do that other one here. Edit. Got to change them both. Outer join. So I'm getting everything from user, and then where there's a match, show me that. If there's not a match, that's okay. I'm not going to get any data, so I'm going to get these weird null. Oh, thank you for the posture check. You can see I'm slouching there, can't you? Let me get out my brace here. Snake, appreciate you looking out for me. All right. Excuse me. Oh, I keep hitting my head here. This is just a little, I don't know, I guess I could lower my chair, but then my knees start to hurt. All right, anyway, so if we do an outer join, whatever is on, if we're doing a left outer join, we're saying take everything from the left, which is the user table. Right, and then if there's a match, show me the rest of the data. So notice we get all these nulls here, which is a little bit ugly, and we have to be careful about those, but that's a better query for us here to show all that data. Right, because then I can get what their balance is, and then I can get all the rest of this. All right, the next thing we could do then with our query here is we need to start aggregating. So we need to get the total quantity times purchase current price and the total purchase price times quantity of each of these stocks. Right, and then we want to sum all of those ones together there, which is a little funny there again as well. So let's see what we can do. So we don't want to just grab everything now, right? We want to be a little bit more specific about what we want to grab here. Right, so we want the name, we want the balance, and we can just start comma separating the things that we want, right? And we want quantity times the purchase price. And we want the quantity times the current price. Quantity times the current price. And let's see if that one runs. I don't know if I have my column names. Yep, those didn't match quite right. Purchase price, what was it here? Columns. What is purchase price? stock order dot, stock order dot, stock dot. And then this is what, user.name and user.balance. I called mine, oh, is mine current price in stock? I'm terrible with my naming conventions, I apologize. Yeah, if I specify the table, yeah, so mine's current price, current capital P price, because that's what I did, sure. Stock order purchase price. Did I spell it wrong? Oh yeah, I misspelled purchase there. Purchase price. Maybe that was my problem. Maybe I didn't have to specify the table names. Okay, so now we're getting some better information here. But now, again, it's a little bit ugly still. So some of the cool stuff we can do in SQL, again, you haven't probably learned it yet, and that's okay. We can use this as keyword. This is, I don't know, cost. And this is current value. We say as. So the as keyword lets you name those columns, which is going to be handy. So now I get cost and current value. Probably actually want to do no spaces, because that'll be a little funny. So then I want current value. Right, so cost and current value. So now we're getting closer here. Oh, but we don't see the stock name, so we need the stock, what is that, the symbol. So let's add that in here. So we get a name, we get a balance, we get a symbol, we get the quantity, the cost, and the current value. But again, this is just at the user's level. We didn't actually need the symbol. We wanted to group all of these costs to aggregate all the costs together and aggregate all the current values together. Right? So we don't actually want this symbol here. Okay, so what we want is, we want all of that, and I want the sum of this. And I want the sum of this. And then we need to tell SQL, how do we do this? We're going to group by user.name. So if we're aggregating, if we're using these SQL functions like sum, right? We tell it, well, what are we going to sum them by? How are we going to group those together to make the sum? I want to group them by the username. And I still get the other user, and he's got nulls, because he didn't own any stock. And here we've got my balance, smart person's balance, my cost, my current value. Right, and then we could, in code, we could calculate the difference really easily. I think we could also make SQL do it here. So let's try that. So let me clean this up a little bit here. Right, so usually we do like each one of these on its own line. I don't know. And usually they're tabbed in once, and then the from, and there's certain ways you can do it, and sure, that's fine. So we want to take the cost, and we're going to take the current value minus the cost. We're going to call that as our, what, profit? Let's see. I need another set of parentheses. Oh, and a comma. There we go. Comma separate those. Maybe I didn't need the parentheses. Let's see if that'll go. So you can do a lot of this arithmetic right in SQL. Right? Oh, it looks like we're both up. Good. So now what happens if I come in here and I go to my stock, and let's go manage the stock, right? We can do it through a web application, right? Because our web app is awesome. Where'd it go? Here it is. So let's manage our stock, and let's say, oh, let's see. Say if GME takes a big dip again, and it goes down to like 40 bucks a share again. We'll update that. Okay, and then we'll come back to this one here, and we run our query again. Just refresh. Now we see all of a sudden, oh crap, we're in the red. We lost. We're down 100 for our profit. We're negative. It means we're losing money, right? So that should update dynamically. My current value should change. The cost shouldn't change, right? Because cost is based on what I paid for it in the stock order. But as current price changes, this should change. Again, I didn't expect you guys to do all of this in SQL. That's okay. We could have just done the base query, and then inside of a loop, we could have been adding, like doing all the arithmetic ourselves, adding a balance per user, that sort of thing. That's okay. This was just the query so far, so I haven't moved that into my code yet. Yeah. I'm tempted to let you guys do that part, but we'll just make sure it works, right? So I can take all this, right? We'll come back over to my users model, right? Get users. So I want to do, instead of select star from users, I want to do all of this fancy stuff, right? I want to do that. Oh, goodness. Sure, why not? You know what? That's terrible. I'm feeling really bad about that now. I think this, thankfully, is smart enough here. As I just hit enter, it's doing the appending for me and ending quotes. Right? Use your tools, folks. Your tools are amazing. We love tools. Don't do more work than you need to. From user, sure, we'll just left outer join. Why not? Take that one down a line. Yeah, no, I'm going to push this all out to GitHub. Hey, King Siller? King Siller? Exclam class if you want a little more info on what's happening here. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, so now it's... My OCD is bothering me a little bit there. Oh, thanks, Ray Ray. Yeah, Snake, it's hard to pay attention. Like, I totally get it. It is hard. And being remote and doing all this learning stuff is just nuts. So that's why I've always got the VODs, which is nice. And I'm hoping once we go back to in person, I can still keep recording classes, doing this sort of thing. Once we're in person, though, it's a little bit harder for me to share them publicly. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So, all right, let's see. So we've got this query here then. So all of this should still work, right? We're going to get more information here. And then my view here is only looking for the name and balance. So this should be perfectly fine, right? We're allowed to have more information. Yeah, we follow the MVC pattern loosely here. We're trying to follow the pattern here in PHP. And then we're going to do it again when we get to our Java servlets and JSP pages. This is a great pattern. Good thing to follow. All right, so let's see. So can I go back to users? And it still works. And now I see smart person, right? It's all good. I'm refreshing, not a problem. Now we want to start adding more info, right? Let's come back here and let's see if we can get some more table data then, right? Let's just expand this table. So we got balance, and then what do we want to show? Well, in the model, right, we were getting back a cost and a current value and a profit. Sure, let's try cost, current value, and profit. We want cost. We want current value. And we want profit. That was a capital P. I'm not sure that's going to matter. We'll find out. Let's refresh. Yep, okay, no P. Let's try capital P. Capital P here. Links get filtered out, King. Sorry. Appreciate it, though. There we go. And then we get our profit. So, we didn't add the table headers. We should add some table headers here, right? Right, so we got cost, current value, and profit. Cost, I don't know, current value, and profit. Oh, awesome. Yeah, ORM stuff is awesome. Okay, let's come back here and refresh. There, now we get a little bit nice, a little bit nicer. Again, still, it's not the prettiest. And we could, yeah, thanks for the link, King. We can check it out later, for sure. We could do some number formatting and make this all prettier and whatnot, but that's all good. So let's go back and manage our stock, and let's say, oh, GME is going nuts again here. Do we ever close their tab? What are they up to? 237. So let's put them back to 237 here. GME 237. Update that. I'll go back to our user list. And now we see, oh, now we got a lot of profit going on here. Right, so it should update itself based on that. And if we don't have values here, right, like another user, we just get nothing out. Right, there's no result. We're getting nulls, so there's nothing. Yeah, we're just using the built-in PDOs currently. Yeah, all that fancy framework stuff is awesome. We're focused on the basics here for now, just like kind of learning the ins and outs of PHP, and then any framework hopefully we could be able to pick up from there. All right, so does that part make sense? We worked with this query, and we did it, got this information out. Again, if you didn't do it in the query, that's okay. We could just loop through, right, and find, okay, give me my list of names, and then I can start adding that data there. Right, we could have done it with the big list and then aggregated ourselves inside the model. Right, so in the model, we could have aggregated it, or just give them back all the data, and then in our view, done the aggregation part. So this one here, it didn't have any parameters. Yep. And PHP my admin is actually pretty slick. Where'd it go here? It's got a create PHP code button here. Right? So this one is adding in their own new lines. I don't know why they do that, but that's fine. Like, you can give you your own copy paste. It makes it kind of pretty. Excuse me. Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So that part makes sense for what we're trying to do there for Project 3. Do you want me to show you how to do it without all of this, or was this okay? Trying to do this part in SQL. So I think I've got that. Let me go GitHub client, and then we'll copy all this stuff out, do all that fun stuff. Yeah, of course, lazy. Yeah, I mean, there was no prereq on the database course, so I don't expect you to be able to do all of this aggregation stuff if you hadn't talked about it before. Come on, folder. Let's go. 454. Show Explorer, and then I just gotta go find the other stuff here in my XAMPP directory because I'm lazy. There we go. Here's the GitHub folder. Here's the XAMPP folder. Let's find our htdocs. Nope, not FileZilla. htdocs. There we go. And take database program. We'll just drag and drop. And yeah, we want to replace everything. And GitHub should say, oh, hey, there's some stuff. Snake, you broke it 2 weeks ago, didn't you? Where you can't get to the port number anymore? Stock values. We'll have to take a look at and see what's going on with that snake. Maybe we can do a screen share after. Okay. Okay, yeah, so if you had 1200, the database course a long time ago, yeah, it would take a little while. Well, that's okay. So if you have trouble with the SQL queries, let me know. I'm happy to hop on and help you out with the query part. Again, it's not, I mean, we're doing database-backed stuff because that's the beauty of doing web applications, is that we're dynamic and we can get data from databases and actually do something. But, the goal is not you write amazing SQL code. SQL queries, I don't know if I'd actually call it code or not. It's not that you write amazing SQL. So if you need help with the SQL part, let me know. Happy to jump in there. Okay, so we're still going to do more, actually, with this. So we want to do some additional pieces here. Whoa, where'd it go? Did I close it? Lost my whole project. That's weird. Oh, shoot. Did I not copy? I didn't copy. I dragged and dropped. It's gone. Okay, let me actually copy here. I'm going to copy it back. Back to my htdocs folder. Oh boy. So let's see, open recent. Oh, it's gone, it's gone. Okay, I gotta go the long way. Database program, there we go. It's back. We found it. Yeah, so don't drag and drop. That, actually moved the files. I thought I did copy paste. That was done. Whew. We're back. All right. So now what we're going to talk about is secure websites. Now, we've got this localhost 50,080 again, because I'm already using port 80, so I had to block that one. But you'll notice there's another port number over here, this 443. So 443 is our default secure port for communications with HTTPS, which is amazing. That's our secure transfer. So when we talk to websites, usually you get the secure thing. This one, we're not secure, right? It's giving a nice little warning here because it's not. There's no secure link here. Yeah. Oh, if you like mistakes, you're in the right place, lazy. That's that's the name of the game. So if I go to https:// for a secure connection, here, secure, by default, it's going to look at port 443, which is nice. So I don't have to put the port number in anymore. And I'm just going to go to localhost. Edgium gives us a nice warning here. Not secure, not secure, not secure. This is different than the information because it's using HTTPS, but it's saying it doesn't like it here. So the certificate that's used is not valid. So what HTTPS does is it uses our public and private key encryption system, which is amazing. You can learn all about that. I think we talked about that in one of the cryptography classes, if you're curious. There's all sorts of amazing math behind the scenes that makes this stuff secure. Essentially what you do is you get a certificate from someone. So ours is the default localhost one. It's already expired actually, because sure, whatever. That's fine. So we have a certificate here. The idea with a certificate is that whoever owns the certificate has a private key. And they publish a public key that goes along with that private key. So it's really small and tiny here, don't worry. It doesn't actually matter much. So the idea here with public and private key cryptography is that you can take the public key and encrypt something so that it can only be read by the person with the private key. The flip side is also true. You can take something and encrypt it with the private key, and then you can use the public key to decrypt it. So what we do with this HTTPS communication is it creates this secure layer using certificates. You say, the web server says, hey, I own this private key, and it actually signs the information with its private key, so that when you look at its public key, it says, hey, here's my certificate, here's my public key. You go decrypt it and say, oh yeah, okay, you actually own that private key. You're the owner of it. Then when we go talk back to them, we can encrypt it with the public key, and they can decrypt it with the private key. Now, the problem is this is actually mathematically slow, and for good reasons, right? So the actual way that this happens is we communicate over public and private key encryption to then negotiate a session symmetric key. So these public and private keys are asymmetric, right? You use one key to encrypt and a different key to decrypt. It's not the same key. It's slow. Asymmetric's slow. So you use the asymmetric channel to negotiate a symmetric key that you're going to use for your session. And the symmetric key is the same key for encrypting and decrypting, and it's much faster. Okay? That's our primer. Right? That's enough. Okay? You can learn all more about it later. But that's essentially what happens here. So all of that works because we trust private keys. So if you go out and say, hey, let's look at D2L, and you want to look at that certificate information, right? It says, okay, I'm star.desire.learn.com, issued by Amazon. All of this sort of depends on us trusting the issuers. So anyone can generate a key. And I'm pretty sure the text walks you through how you can generate a key using OpenSSL, which is like some open source software you can get to generate SSL keys. Sure, anyone can do it, but they're not going to trust it unless it comes from a trusted issuer. So if you look at the certification path, right, it is certified by the Amazon Root CA. That's the certificate authority. And we trust the certificate authority because we assume they're going to do the right thing. Hydration, thank you. So if we trust the certificate authority, then we're in good shape. In Windows, you have an interesting, go to certificates. You can actually look at who your computer trusts here. Sorry, a little UAC prompt there. Right, and you can look at the trusted root certificate authorities here, and you can see these are all the trusted root certificate authorities that your computer trusts. There's a bunch of them. Oh, look, I trust Battle.net. Like DigiCert is a big one. Entrust is a big one. I got my local ones. Global, GoDaddy does a bunch. Microsoft has a bunch in here. Symantec has some. VeriSign's a big one. So there's a bunch of root certificate authorities that will sell certificates, and we trust them. They do this whole process. So we assume that it works. And this is sort of how the internet secure internet communication depends on this trust and using the asymmetric encryption. Oh, a dad joke. Yeah, you got it. You got it. We gotten a couple of good ones lately, which you might appreciate. You guys like our math themed jokes, right? Because that's, I mean, nothing better than math jokes. So I was trying to, in the summer, earn a little extra income, because I'm a handy person. So I put out a little flyer in the local whatever, just sure. And I said, hey, I'm a handyman and I'm happy to do some odd jobs around from extra cash in the summer. So some old lady, she said, oh great, I need the leaves raked up, and I need the gutters cleaned out and all these things. Give me the list. Okay, so number 1 was leaves. Number 2 was clean out the gutters. Number 3 was I had to wash the siding. Number 4 was take the trash out. This sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, great. So I happily go through and I do number 1 and I do number 3, and I just ignored 2 and 4. And I'm like, all right, lady, here's your bill. And she says, well, wait, what? Why didn't you do task 2 and 4? And I said, remember, I told you I'm here to do odd jobs. All right, I'm glad you talked a little bit about HTTPS and the web programming courses. It's good to know. Good to know. Joke with an odd job. All right. So if we are using secure communication, then we're much happier. So again, this one is not secure. So that's trackers, I think. Yeah, so Firefox is saying there's no good information here because we're not using the secure ports. But let's see, can we flip over then to HTTPS for our project? It says, woo, warning, warning. And we can click on advanced, and it says certificate is not trusted because it's self-signed. So we don't like that it was not issued by someone who we trust as a root certificate authority. That's fine. We're going to accept the risk and continue. I don't recommend you do that very often, but this, we're just doing our local development here. And now we get the nice warning here that this connection is not secure, and we've added a security exception. So again, depending on which browser you're using, they're a little bit different. You get some different messages here and there, but all in all, that's all fine, well and good. Okay, so once we have secure communication set up, then we should feel a little bit better about asking users for passwords, right? So right now, anybody can just hit this website and they can do anything they want, and they can buy stock for any user, right? Which is probably a no-no, right? You shouldn't be able to buy things for other people, that sort of thing. So what we could do is we could add a login. Right? That's sort of the beauty of this, right? And depending on what you want to have locked down, we can put that login check in front of certain pages, right? So maybe just looking at stock, right, is fine, but adding and updating should be behind the login. We can do those sorts of things, right? We've got some controls around what do we want to make public and what do we want to make hidden behind a login, right? And then maybe we have an administrator type user that can go and manage stocks, and maybe we just have the user type who just goes buys and sells, right? They don't get to manage the stocks here. They would just buy and sell. Again, that's a little bit beyond what we're actually going to tackle. We just want to look at a basic example here, and we can come back to doing more of it later if we're so curious. Okay, but let's see. Maybe we can add a login here. Maybe just to the buy and sell page, right? Imagine this was the user page here. Sure, we could do that sort of thing. So there's a couple different ways of doing that, right? So a couple different types of authentication that we're going to talk about. Basic authentication asks the browser to do it. Some sites use that. It's not as popular. Much more often we have form-based authentication where we give them a login form, right, on our website, and we say, okay, enter your information here and log in. That's almost everywhere. That's what you're going to see, right? So we need to have a place to log in. So we can build a little login page here. Let's add a little view for login. New PHP file. We'll call this login. I think everything else was lowercase. Why not leave it lowercase? Right, and then I need a form here, so I'm going to go find a form, see if I can copy one. Because I don't want to have to redo the whole thing here. Sure, so let's just copy that form out. Why not? And this is just login. And its action is going to go to, what do we want to do? Login with a post. We're going to post some data. We want a username, and we don't need a select here. Right? We need an input box. Let's see. Oh, that was not even an input box. Really don't want to have to type that again myself. There we go. Input type is text. Name is username. Okay, and then we need another input here for password. And I believe we can make this a type of password, which is cool. It'll do some fun things. So this is login. That's our login page. Right, let's just see if we can get that loaded. Use login PHP. Okay, so we get username, we get password. So notice because it's a type of password field, it's just showing the dots, which is really nice. That's kind of the goal. So if you put it as type password, it's smart enough to know, hey, we shouldn't show something. You don't want it as a plain text field, right? When you type passwords, you don't want somebody to be able to see what they're typing, right? Awesome. And again, login, sure. And it knows it's a login, so we don't save anything. We posted the data, it goes nowhere. That's all fine. So we're just testing it out here. Can we get this thing to work? Right? Okay, so sure. Eric, test, login, it goes nowhere, right? Never save, never save. Sure. It's just posting back to itself. But if we look at our network requests, so again, Eric, test, we go to login, should see we posted some data. Here's the request with username and password. Okay, and again, it's over secure communication, so we feel better. Right, that's our good habit here, to be over secure communication. Okay, well now how do we actually make this work? Right, well what do I want to do when I get to login? Right, well I probably want some sort of login controller to handle this sort of thing. Right, so we're going to add a new controller. Call this our login controller. Right now, this one needs to do all of that information here. Again, we're going to do all of our database stuff. Right, and then we're going to include or require our login page. Okay, so I should just be able to hit the login controller so far. So I don't have to navigate right to views. I should just be able to hit login PHP. It all works here, right? Good so far. But now I want to see if I'm posting some data. Where is it here? Right, I want to go get something out. I need to go see, hey, did it get anything? So that one's not as interesting. Here we go. Well, yeah, action filter. Okay, we can look at an action filter. If it's null, we'll assume the action is login. How about that? Okay, and then if we want to log in, let's go do this thing. So then if action is equal to login, then we're going to require the login page. Okay, give that a little format, make it a little prettier. Do we want that to be login? Yes, that's fine. Because I do want to send a hidden value here now. want to send a hidden action. Type equals hidden name equals, I don't know what, do login. I don't know. That sounds terrible, but that's probably fine. Okay. So then I do login then on our controller. Let's our login here. So if action equals do login. Now we need to go do something here. We need to go get their information, right? And that we're posting here. We'll have a username is get username and a password. Oh, submit login. Yeah, that's much better. Submit login. Thank you. That's a much better name for it. Makes me much happier. Submit login. Okay, username and password. Username and password. Okay. And then just for fun, I'm just going to see if I can echo username. I'll just make it all lowercase. Why not? Username. Like pretty much we know that's like a one word, right? Echo username. And echo password. Okay, so we'll do Eric test. Submit login. I'm checking the wrong thing there, aren't I? Where is it here? Name and value. That's the action. Oh, it's action, right? We're not submitting the action. That's what it is. Yep. So that was value and name equals action. There we go. Maybe now we'll do it right. We'll just come back to our page here. We'll do Eric and test. There we go. So now I did the submit login action, and we're just echoing them right back out. Eric test. Again, bad practice. Don't show people usernames. I'm just poor man debugger here. Can I get those values back out in the login controller? So it's looking good so far. So we got those values, right? Then what we want to do is we want to go check and see if the password matches what's in the database. And there's actually some good ways of doing that. So the bad way of doing that is coming back to our PHP myadmin. Nope. PHP myadmin. And having a password field and putting the password in. You don't want to just put someone's password in plain text. Plain text means the actual password, the text of it here. That's a real bad habit. We don't want to do that. Oh no, shoot, it's already 2 o'clock already. Oh goodness. All right, I've been talking for a while. Why don't you take a break? I don't want to keep you guys too long. You know, go check your Facebook, whatever you got to do. Or Instagram, is that what all the cool kids are doing nowadays? Facebook's for old people like me. And we can go from there. So why don't we take a quick break? I'll put on some music. We'll come back. And we'll pick it back up with secure login stuff and emailing in PHP. We'll see if we get to the JSP stuff. If we don't get to it today, it's not big of a deal. We can always do it next week. Snapchat. Oh, okay. Go check your snaps, yo. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Break time. Let's say about 10 minutes or so. We'll come back. I don't know what, 2:15 or 2:14. Okay, see you in a minute. Alrighty, welcome back. Sweet. And 0 snaps. Yeah, I think I'm on Snapchat. I don't know. I don't have it on my phone anymore. It was not as interesting as I thought it might be. I don't know. Okay, so got some usernames and passwords, and we're going to go modify our database here so that we can store passwords not in plain text. What we want to store is something called a hash. Now, in cryptography, a hash is a one-way method. So the idea here is it is not decryptable. That's what a good hash is. A hash should not be decryptable. So a hash should be repeatable. So every time I hash a value, I'll get the exact same encrypted value back out. But it's not actually encrypted. It's just hashed. It's garbled. Right? There's no way to go from a hash back to the original. PA55 word or W0RD. Yeah. Sure. Now let's go add a new column. So we're going to add a new column here for password. Now the reason why we don't want to store the plain text password is because if someone gets a hold of our database, they now have all of our users' passwords, and our users are going to be pissed at us because we did a bad thing. It's terrible security practice to store a plain text password. Okay. So let's go add, let's check out our table structure here. Let's go add a new column. Didn't I? Did I go edit that? No? No. I broke it. I want to add a column. Change. Is change? Yeah, change is probably it. No column selected. All right, I clicked the wrong thing. You used to be able to change it here, right? Edit. Nope. Far right. Am I not far enough over to the right? My goodness. In structure? Yeah. I've done this before, folks. I'm going crazy here. Add one column after, it's right here, yeah. Add one column after balance. Perfect. Go. There we go. It was right in front of me the whole time. Right in front of me. There, we want to call this one password. And I'm going to call it hash, just to be explicit here. Password hash. It is a varchar. Length, I don't know, something big. Do we get a default here? Varchar. I think we want to give it something. Oh, no worries, lazy. No worries. Okay. And then if we don't add it as nullable, it's going to yell at us. Remember, we need to add it as nullable, give it a value, and then go do something with it. Right? Or we give it a default value. So we could do a default, I don't know, as defined test. We don't need anything right now. So length, I don't know. This is something long. I forget what exactly it is. We'll see if we can do that. No, enter valid length. So how long? Let me see. There's a specific length that is, I'm trying to remember. Let's try 255. Why not? Okay. So we got added. And now if I take a look at user, they're going to have this default in here. Now this is not a good password, right? And we don't actually want to use a plain text password. I just want to be able to go hash the password here. And it turns out PHP has a function built in for doing hashing. Right? It's amazing. It's called password hash. Okay, so let's go copy this shamelessly out of the, oh, I didn't even copy, that's fine. So we'll have a password hash is, it's called password hash given a string, right? So that's the password. And then we give it password. No, it's got a bunch of options here. We just want the default is probably fine. Default. But it might change. So maybe if we want to be specific, maybe it's better to do that one. Because if we keep the default and then we upgrade our PHP version, it's going to change and bad stuff can happen. So we got to be a little bit careful. So BCR or bcrypt here is probably that's the current default. So let's see. So then let's just echo out the password hash. Because what I need to do is I need to hash that password to get the value to go update the database. Okay. I'm going to come back here. We'll go to the login page. Oh dear. Semicolon. Thank you. There we go. So we're going to do Eric. I'm just going to do test all lowercase here. So this is the hashed value for that password. I have no idea. Turns test into this, but every time I turn test into that, we should be good to go. Maybe that's what I should have done. I should have done this first before I went and updated in phpMyAdmin. That's fine. So let's do a little SQL query. So we're going to update user, set password hash equal to that for all users. Boom, done. For all users, no, not even a specific one. Okay, so now if I take a look at the users one, that should be the hash for all of them. Perfect. This is not plain text. Now, again, take a cryptography class, do some more interesting security stuff. Just because it's a one-way hash doesn't mean they can't find the actual clear text password if they have the hash. So an additional thing that we would usually do, and again, we're not getting to this point yet here, and that's okay. We're just, don't worry, is we would want to add what's called a salt to the password, which is some additional information. So you take a password, you salt it to give it something additional, and then you hash it. Because otherwise, if someone knows what the PHP hashing algorithm is, this bcrypt algorithm to generate a hash, what they can do is they do this cool thing where they just go through and try every single possible password that's 8 letters long or less and generate hashes until they find a match. It's like if they get the hash out, then they just need to try a bunch, and eventually that's just a matter of time. Right? There's only so many 8-character combination password sort of thing, and most people use the minimum length password because people are creatures of habit, and that's easy for people. So strongly encourage you to use a password manager, use long passwords, all sorts of that good stuff. Use different passwords for different sites just in case bad stuff happens. But again, sure, that's fine. And really, I mean, depending on what the salt is, unless we're storing it somewhere separate. If they hacked into our database, if the salt is just stored in our application, then if they didn't get the application code, maybe we got lucky. But if we got totally hacked, they have our application and they have the database, they're going to have the salt anyway. So again, it's all sorts of trouble. But don't worry too much about it. Again, take a cryptography class. We're just trying to do some basics here. Okay? Then what we want to do, right? Now we want to see if their password is valid. There's a password verify function, which is cool, to see if the password matches. Okay, so let's go see. So then we can say we want to password verify. Verify the password. Right? And does it match the hash? Well, I need to get the hash back out. So what I need to do is I need to go query users here. So let's go to my users model. Let's see. Get users actually gives me too much crap. I don't think I want all of that. That's unfortunate. Let's rename this one here. So I'm going to rename. So refactor, rename. Don't just do it by hand. This is get users with stock info. Why not? And it should change it a couple places, right? It's saying, hey, it's changing it here, it's changing it here. Right? My users in my stock database. Perfect. Do the refactor. Okay. And then I want just a regular get users function, get users. Okay. That'll just select star from user. Right, and then we execute and we fetch and we return. Okay, so this now we can just do a regular get users here. we want to have users equal, actually we probably only want to find one, right? So we can get, let's change that to get user with a username, right? It's a username. So where username equals username. So we'll prepare the query, and then we will bind that value here. I'm just going to go copy one of our binds over here. Username to username. Fetch. You know what? I just want to fetch one, because there should only be one user per username. Okay? We'll just return that one user. This is get user by username. Okay? So then we can have user is get user, given the username. And then if we got something back, so, right, so if $user, right, we want to make sure we did get some particular value back, right? It's not null. Then I can do something. Otherwise, we can do some other error. Again, we'll get to that there. That's fine. So it should match the user key of, what do we call it? Password hash. Password hash, I want to say. And if that's good, right, then we're verified. So if password verify, we'll just echo. For now, we're just testing this here, right? Login successful. Login successful. And then what do we want to do? Well, we're logged in. Do we want to take them somewhere else? Or, I don't know. We'll figure that out after. Otherwise, I don't know. We'll probably have some sort of error page here. But that we can come back to that after. Okay? So let's see if we can get logged in. So Eric, and test. We log in. Oh, failed. Cannot, column not found, username in the where clause of my model. I broke it. Username. I probably have an underscore in there, don't I? No, just name. Just name. Where name equals. That's right. We don't actually have like real legit usernames. We just have a name like Eric. Okay. Let's try it again. Oh, I lost you guys over here. Minimum length. Yeah, setting a minimum length is a good security practice for passwords. And 8 is actually just not long enough. It's not secure. But usually if you make it too long, users get upset with you anyway. So, all right, lowercase test, log in, and my login was successful. It worked. So let's go back. Let's just say like ASDF, doesn't matter. Nothing. Right? We're not failing. We didn't get any error message. That's okay. We'll do Eric with a different password. ASDF gibberish. Didn't work again. So yeah, we need to have like some good info here. So we can clean this up a little bit, but we'll get there. Okay. My users controller. Oh, that's all the users view, right? No, oh, that's the login controller. There we go. So otherwise, else, go incorrect password. And again, sorts of things like locking people out after so many incorrect tries is all well and good, that sort of thing. So else, echo, user not found. And there's, concerns around even exposing a username. Like if you tell someone that the username's not found, rather than just you failed to log in, you're giving additional information, right? So someone could go through a website and just throw a bunch of usernames at it and be like, oh, hey, I know you're a user on this website, especially if your username is your email address. And you'd think that might not be a big deal, but then you go to particularly maybe sensitive subject websites and start throwing email addresses there and seeing who's a user of that sensitive website, and you have some information that that person probably didn't want you to know, right, about them. Right? Does that make sense? I think there was this big deal, what's it called? Madison? Is that what it was? Yeah, this website here was a dating website for people who are married. Okay, sure, everyone has their own niche market, I suppose, but maybe you don't want people to know that you're signed up on this website. And if you just go through and throw a bunch of email addresses at it and you get a, ooh, bad password message rather than user not found message, oh, So again, that's a security concern. That's not exactly the focus of what we're doing, but I just want to throw those out there as, hey, you should be aware of these sorts of things. We're doing a bad thing, and I feel bad about it. So can I leave like a comment? This is not a great security practice, but we don't care for now. Does that make sense? Okay. Sure. So now let's just make sure it works. So if I give it a bad username, I go to login, user not found. Sure. Eric with a bad password, I should get incorrect password, or Eric with the actual test lowercase password, we get login successful. Okay, so we're getting there, right? So this sort of idea, at least we're doing the right thing with hashing a password. We haven't added assault, which is the better thing to do. Maybe that's a better practice. Again, but if they got to our database, they maybe also got to our application. So there's like other ways of doing salts and all sorts of interesting stuff. Cryptography, salt the hash browns. Oh, Snake, I love it. I love it. Salt the hash browns. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to remember it. So there's all sorts of things we just haven't gotten to yet. It's not really the focus, if that's fair to say. And we're already a little short on time here. Okay, so we got logins. So then what we could do, right, once the user is logged in, then we get some other really cool things here. Excuse me. Whew. Let's see. Yep. So we got a form, we got authenticate. And what we can do is we can use some session information to tell the rest of our program that, hey, someone is logged in here. Okay, so and I know that might not make a lot of sense at the moment, but we're gonna look at what that looks like. So one of the things that we get with our web session, so like when our client is connected, we have a session. So there's this $ under session here. So session is an array of session variables here. So we can use session to store information, right? So we'll say like is logged in. We'll say it's true. So if we logged in, we can set our session to logged in. Okay. So the default action here takes them to the login page. Submit login if they were trying to log in here. So we can check first. We can say, hey, if they're already logged in, let's take them somewhere else. Right? So we can say, hey, if the $ under session is logged in. And remember, that's already a true or false. It's just a Boolean here. So we don't need to say if it equals true, do something. But just if it's there, right, we're going to take them to header, I don't know what the user page, right? Oh no, we're going to do the buy and sell stock, right? So buy and sell stock. What was our page here? No, what was the page name? We wanted to buy and sell stock. Stock order PHP. We'll take them to stock order PHP. And I'm forgetting how to do this already. Man, that's okay. Forward? Stock order PHP? My goodness. Index. No, backwards here. Location. Location. Stock order PHP. So if they're logged in, we'll just take them here. Right, we can do that. Now we might also want to check though if our action is like a logout action first. If action equals logout, right, we probably want to do that first. And then if they're logged in, we can set them. Then we can go back to login or submit login and handle them all here. We got some options here, right? Again, sure, based on whatever the action is. So what we want to do is we want to clear out that session. So if they're trying to log out, we'll take our session and we'll just clear it all out. So we set it's just to be a new array, right? Just blanket. Release everything in there. And then you can call this session destroy, blows up the session, right? Gets rid of all the stuff there. And then maybe we just throw them back to login. I don't know. We'll just, again, this is not ideal, but that's okay for now. Logged out. Maybe we want a message, but okay. We have an action there. Why not? Maybe we want something in our header then. Right? We can add something in our header to say whether or not we are, or to take us to a logout, maybe. Or where's our navigation, right? Maybe we could put a navigation in here for logout. Right, we got options here. Or we could say, hey, if we're logged in, make the button be a logout button. I like that. Order needs to be capitalized. Oh, thank you. Stock order. Yep. So my login page, stock order, PHP. Okay, so after we log in, then we'll just take them back. Right? Just redirect them here, I guess. Why not? And then that should redirect us again. Now, is that ugly? Maybe we just do that. Stock order. PHP. We'll see if we can redirect them here. And then what we can do is we can see, hey, on our stock order page that should be protected, right? We want to check to see if they're logged in, right? So we can add a little view here. Add a new, I don't know what, that's not even really a view. Let's, I don't know. So the book is nice. It adds like a folder called like utilities here. Inside of that, then we'll add a new valid login PHP. And then we check. We say if it's not set is set here. The $session is user is logged in. So if not set, so if there is no value there for is logged in, then we're going to take them to Authentication login PHP. Take them to the login page. Okay. So to make sure that, hey, we are logged in here. Sure. So let's check that here. So on our stock order page, right, we're going to require my utility and as a valid login PHP. I'll make sure that they're logged in. So you can't get to the page, right, unless you have that value set. Let's try that. So let's see. So if I refresh my stock order page, okay, $session, did I spell it wrong? Login line 20. Login line 20. Login line 20. You know, forget that. We'll just we'll handle that after. Right, so that's else if action is there. All right, let's try it again. So Eric test, log in. Oh, it didn't redirect me right. So can I go back to buy sell stock? Okay, so it bounces me to the login page. Good to know. Interesting. Buy sell stock bounces me to the login page, but now it's not logging in. Probably did something wrong here. All right, we're getting closer. So it is redirecting me a bunch of times. Let's see. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. So Eric, test, do login. Takes me to the login page, sends me back to, so stock order. So something's wrong in stock order, right? Valid login, so maybe it's not checking it right. Not is set, session is, oh, did I name it wrong? I probably named it wrong. Is logged in. Is logged in. Session. We're able to log in? Interesting. What are we doing wrong here? Let's see. This one. Let's see. What did we do wrong? We wanted to log in. All right, let's try it. We'll just put it in debug mode. We'll see what's happening here. Because we got debug mode to work. Maybe. Breakpoint. It was working, right? Okay, good, good. Wait, why am I at the index? Continue. Okay. Buy and sell stock. Let's see what we get here. Let's step into that one. Can we see the session variable? Where's my variables? Where do my variables go? That's fine. Okay. Where did my variables tab go? Come on. Points. Oh, that's not right. I'm losing it, folks. 50-50 shot. I mean, the breakpoint worked. I'm just not seeing the debug info. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There's variables. All right. That's weird. The back here is a lower tab. Okay. I don't know why that was broken. That's weird. That's fine. So let's see. So we've got session. Where's my session? Where's my session? I broke it. I don't even have a session at all. Excuse me. And server? No. That's interesting. All right. Why did session break? Told me something about session. I should have looked at that dollar session. Session vars, maybe? HTTP. So I think this is the the newer version. Yeah, we're not supposed to use the session variables. So we should use HTTP session vars. Let's try that. Session vars. We get that. See if we can clear that out. So this is what we get for following along with the book, right? Session vars. Is that it? Stop our debugger. Oh dear. Yeah, that's fine. We just stopped it. All right, Eric. Test. Never save. Uh-oh, bounces back to login. So it's not saving something right. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I'll figure out why it's not up to date here. Something with that session array is not happy. Right? $session. What does it say? Different variables. I'll figure that out. I think that's actually probably enough for now. We still have to finish out project 3. So let me fix up that session thing. I'll let you know exactly what it is that we have to fix for that. We go over there. So we'll push the JSP stuff to next week. It's just the little intro. We breezed through the intro chapters because they were 2 separate books, really. And the idea that we're doing both at once. Like we're looking at the PHP style. So all the intro to web development stuff is the same. We're just looking at this is how you do it with Java now. Okay? So that's all. And we can go from there. All right, so work on project 3. If you already got it in and want to keep working on it, you can submit again. Again, sorry for that mix-up with the due date there. And then next week we'll come back then and we'll change up gears, move off of PHP, move into Java, the JSP and servlet for doing web development, and we can go from there. All right, folks, that was fun. And, do let me know if you have questions, thoughts, concerns. I'm behind on grading your projects. I apologize. If you did tank one, don't worry too much about it because I will take your final project score and replace your worst project score with that final project score. And again, the goal with the final project is everyone gets it done. Perfect. We're all set. Everyone gets 100% because I want you to be able to have something you're done and proud of. And we'll have 4 weeks to work on that one. We'll start that one in April. Let's see, weirdly on April 1st. And we can go from there. Okay? All right, folks. It's been fun. You take care. Let me know if you have questions, thoughts, concerns. Snake, I think you said you were having trouble even getting your port to work, right? We should try and meet up at some point, see what we can do. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Is there anyone else we can go pester on Twitch? If anyone's around, we should send a raid out just for funsies. Let's see who's around. Let's go do some math, right? We like math. We'll take a look at Prof. Peter. Okay. Math office hours. Everyone go say hi. And I'll see you folks around. Yeah, let me know if you're stuck in anything with Project 3. We'll get you going, okay? Take care.